Good morning. Welcome to Scorched Earth Tarot. My name is Carrie and this is going to be a reading for Sun, Moon and Ascendant Pisces. If you don't know what your moon or ascendant signs are, have a look down in the description box. There's a link down there that will help you. And then come back and watch the videos for your moon and ascendant signs, because they'll give you a clearer idea of what's going on with you overall. If you'd like to book a personal reading, that information is in the description box as well. If you're a current subscriber, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. If you're not, I'd really love it if you would consider becoming one. Help a sister out in your... I don't think I have anything else really to tell you. If you've already had a personal reading from me, thank you. I really appreciate you sharing a little bit of your life with me. I've met some really incredible people this month, actually through here, getting in touch for readings, and it's been an honour, actually, is what it's been. So, with all that said, let's pull some cards for you. I'm sorry that this is late. September was a bit of an icky month. Had quite a few tower moments happen. Pisces, October. Oh. I'll explain why I'm pulling this face in a second. Pisces, October, please. The reading is time-stamped as well, so if you don't want to watch me shuffle, just go down to the comment box and there'll be a timestamp in there. Just click that and it'll skip you forwards. Pisces, October, please. So the reason I'm pulling a face, or pulled a face, was because this is actually the second time I've recorded this video. The first time I got all the cards out and could not make head nor tail of what was going on. The energy was all over the shop, and actually the cards were all over the shop as well. And I gave up, went and had a cup of coffee, and thought I'll come back and do it again. And like these two cards, this one, it's come out in exactly the same place that it did in the first one as well. So obviously I am meant to persevere and struggle through this one and try and untangle what is going on with you this month, Pisces. So buckle up, because it's going to be a bit of a ride, possibly. Let's get some clarifiers anyway, and then we'll get on with the reading. So, why is the Hierophant here for Pisces? Okay. Why is the Hierophant here for Pisces? Whoa. Getting pretty heavy on the majors here, Pisces. Some people coming out here as well. That one wanted to come out. Okay. So, card on the bottom of the deck is Justice, which is the same card that was at the bottom of the deck in the first video. So, I love tarot. The card on the bottom of the other deck is the Ten of Swords. And your first reading was quite a swords heavy reading, and didn't have the Ten of Swords, but it had other swords in it, so I'm not really that surprised to see that come up. So my lovely fishes, first card you have is the Hierophant. It's card number 5 of the Major Arcana. It's the card of Taurus. Then you have the Six of Wands, and you have the Ace of Wands. So I have to say this is a bit more positive. I like this. Well, the other one wasn't positive. It was hugely up and down. I could not make head nor tail of it. Anyway, so let's get started. I'll do the clarifiers as we go along, so it'll make more sense. Then you won't get boggled with the number of cards that we're looking at. So, like I said, card of Taurus, the Hierophant, number 5. And the idea that this archetype gives us is the notion of one leader and many followers. Right? It's sometimes called the Pope card. He's depicted more like a shaman in this deck, and I like that, I guess, or a druid, since it's the Llewellyn deck. But it's a person with knowledge. It's usually spiritual knowledge, but it doesn't have to. It's anything that, knowledge that betters you in any way, right? But it also talks about structure, because you've got this hierarchical nature to the Hierophant card. You've got one person with all the knowledge, which is then disseminated, down the ranks, right down to the bottom. It's usually called an acolyte card, but there are no acolytes depicted on this one. This chap is solitary, and he's got a definite druid shaman look to him. Anyway, because of the structure and because of the hierarchy that's implied by this card, looking at it in a broader sense, it can refer to a company, it can refer to a business, it can refer to a school, a church, some sort of sports club, something like that. Anything where you've got one person in charge who is teaching doctrine or skills or something to people who do not currently have those. Yep. And since I mentioned it in the last reading, I'm going to mention it again. I'm drawn very much to the fact that there is, down here, there's a cup and there's a horn next to it, and it's next to the harp. Now, a harp is a symbol of harmony. It's harmony and balance and tune. A harp that is not correctly strung will not make a beautiful harmonic tune. But it's next to the cups. It's down there, and the horn. And as we know, the cups speak of emotions and they speak of feelings and that kind of thing. And I take the horn in this case to be communication. So whether this is a company that you're dealing with, a business, so I know, your employer potentially, could be university, could be something like that. Feel like there's communication being implied here, and it's from you to someone higher up than you, because there's a stream here and the cup and the horn are on this side of the bank. And this communication that you're undertaking with this person who is higher up in the structure than you are, somebody who can potentially help you, is about something emotional. It's something that's important to you. And I feel like you need to have this conversation with this person in order to try and restore balance to yourself. And that's why the harp is there. There's a problem that you're having, there's some sort of issue. Maybe this is HR that you need to talk to. Experiencing something crappy in the workplace or university or something like that. That's the kind of feeling I'm getting from there. And it's clarified by 2 major arcana cards, and that's kind of a big deal. It's the underlying thing behind there. We've got Judgment and we've got the Empress. And Judgment's 22 and the Empress is number 3. Now, I read Judgment to be Scorpio, if you want to talk signs. And the Empress is also the card of Taurus for me. So we've got 2 Taurus cards on the table, and that sign may or may not be important, but it's there, and I feel the need to tell you about it. There's a simultaneous kind of heavy and bright energy to the Judgment card, yeah, because it's dealing with some pretty heavy subject matter there. We see the angel above, and he's blowing his horn and he's resurrecting corpses literally out of their coffins. This is a situation that you thought was dead and buried, and this angel is resurrecting all of these people. It's the end of days. It's, you know, the last judgment. So it's a card of second chances, or going back to something. And there's a horn in this card, and there's a horn in this card as well. You are trying to resurrect something, a situation, something that you used to do, somebody that you used to know, like some kind of situation that you thought was over and done with. You are speaking to this person here about bringing it back up. And then we have the Empress. Now the Empress is many things. She's the Queen of Queens. She's the mother of mothers. You know, she's literal fertility and abundance. She's often said to represent Libra, but I don't really subscribe to that notion particularly. She's very Taurian to me. There's something about the creation of life that is a very earthy concept to me. I don't think it fits with air. But the Empress talks about the birthing of something new. A new idea, a new project. I mean, sometimes it can be a literal pregnancy, you know. Maybe, and this is just, you know, one thing, and it possibly might only be for one person, maybe you're looking at going back to university to take up something that you had to stop because you were pregnant or because you had a small child, something like that. I mean, that's just one possible interpretation, but I'm going to throw it out there. But these 2 cards together speak of going back to something to create something new. You know, going back to an old situation, one that you've already done, or one that you thought you were finished with, coming back to it to create something new, to bring something fresh into the world. And the suggestion is that it's going to be quite successful, because the next card that you have is 6 of Wands, and that's a card of Leo. But the 6 of Wands talks about conspicuous public success. You know, this is not just you doing something and being dead chuffed with yourself about it. It's about you doing something so well that other people are congratulating you about it. They say, "Way, that's awesome. That thing that you've done, it's brilliant," you know. And it's something for which you have great enthusiasm. But it's been a lot of work. And this chap's face is quite grave, given that he's, you know, part of a triumphant procession back into town. You know, there's been a lot of hard work and potentially a bit of heartache there behind it. You know, you kind of suffered a little bit for this victory. The 2 cards that you've got to clarify are the King of Wands and the Queen of Cups. Now, the Queen of Cups is your queen, right? She's the feminine depiction, or she's the depiction of the feminine energies of the water suit, right? So Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, you. She's gazing adoringly at her cup. And those of you who've seen my videos before will know that I don't have a lot of time for her cup, but she does. Like, she is absolutely focused on her cup. This is a project, an idea, or something. This is something that you've been working on, at least the idea of, for some time. And she looks so bright and happy with her cup right now. Whatever this cup represents to you, this has been a labour of love, I think. This thing that you've been working on. Whatever it is that you now need to go and speak to somebody about, whatever it is that you now want to try and birth into the world. You know, there's been a lot of you that you've put into this cup, this project, this idea, this spark of something that you've had. You've put work into it. You know, this is not just a thought. This is something that is now ready to come out into the world. And the other card that you've got is the King of Wands. The King of Wands is Leo, so we've got Leo again. It may be that there is a Leo around who has actually been quite, you know, instrumental in this activity, whatever it is that it means to you, bringing it through. But if there isn't, then this is someone who is adventurous, bold. I mean, you might say fearless, but I don't think anybody's truly fearless, but confident, self-assured, comfortable in their own skin. Now, this could be a person, and if it is a person, they will embody those characteristics there that I've described, but it could be an energy. It could be a representation of your inner and your outer circumstances as they currently sit with you. I mean, I'm struck by the fact that they're both facing the same direction, right? Although she's looking down and she's quite, you know, paying quite a lot of attention to the cup here, they're both facing the same direction. So if this is an energy, then this is the internal workings of your mind. You know, this is the time and the devotion and the love that you've put into this, whatever this is, in the feeling and the creation of this thing. But this is the point at which it manifests out. And you're having to step outside of your comfort zone just a little bit in order to make this happen, because fire and water don't really mix terribly well. But as a Pisces, you know, it's gentle energy. Maybe you're having to now harness a bit of this wand energy here, and you've gone straight for the top of the suit. There's no fucking about here. It's not like you've picked a page or something. You've gone straight for a king. And you are having to be bold and dynamic and confident in your idea. You know, it's Pisces have quite a dreamy quality to them, and certainly the Queen of Cups here is very dreamy in how she's looking at her cup. But if you need to manifest something and get it out in the open, here it is. This is what you're doing. And it's resulting in victory in the month of October. And then the next card we've got is the Ace of Wands, right? That is a passionate energy, but it's pure creativity. And if you were going to bring any kind of creativity into the world, to have the King of Wands and also have the Empress in order to bring that forwards, like you don't have a better combination. But then we've got the Queen of Cups here, because this is you, this is your input, this is your dreamy creativity, you know, it's your etheric kind of state that you are now bringing into something a bit more tangible, I would say. It's clarified by the Knight of Cups. Now, traditionally, the Knight of Cups talks about messages of love being brought through to people. Yeah. If somebody's coming to offer their cup to you, and here's this knight, you know, trotting along on his white horse, bringing his cup of love to give you a message. I don't feel like it means that in this case. It's a message for sure, but I feel like it's your message going out into the world now. You know, I said before that I felt like whatever you'd been working on, there was a lot of you in it. You know, the whole thing was imbued with you as a Pisces. And so we've got these two kind of fairly static energies here of the king and the queen. They're both sat on thrones. Yeah. But then we've got movement. We've got someone taking this cup and moving out. We've got someone taking this ace and moving out into the world. I'm going to pull another card for that. Where's the Knight of Cups here for Pisces? I've got the Sun. It's more Leo energy. Nope. If it's not a Leo person that you have around you, or someone with Leo really strongly in their chart, then this is just the element that you have decided you're going to seize upon. And it would be quite... could be quite a grounding energy for you, actually, because Leo is fixed fire and Pisces is not fixed at all. So you're taking your message out into the world, like more victory, more joy, you know, more good things happening, and you're moving away from something. What is Pisces moving away from? At the bottom we've got the Six of Wands again. Try a different deck. What's Pisces moving away from? Okay. So the card that's come out is the Ten of Swords. Right? That's a card of betrayal and rejection and awful negativity and thought processes, potentially. You know, there can be words, there can be things that people have spoken to you, but the card at the bottom of the deck was the Ten of Swords. It seems like you're switching something up, and at this point it's still slightly dreamy. It's still got a very Piscean quality to it that is really proving to be quite difficult to nail down here, because you're moving forwards with an idea, with something that you're very, you know, passionate about. You want to bring it into the world, and you've spent a lot of time musing on it. But now you've picked a sign, and that sign is Leo, it seems, to bring this out into the world. And in doing so, you're moving away from things that have hurt you, things that you've been upset about. And actually the Three of Swords was a card that came out the first time round that I did this reading. You know, I stopped it like 4 minutes in because I was kind of struggling with it. But I'm kind of struggling with this in the same way. There's a polarity almost to the energies that you are pulling together this month. And it should make you uncomfortable. Because it's, you know, fire and water, you know, as water puts fire out and stuff. But it's not. You seem to be balancing it really well. We've got Justice down here, balance. And as I look, we've got the Queen of Wands and the Hanged Man directly underneath Justice. This is another Leo card. And here we have a card of Pisces. You know, there's a... If this isn't a Leo partnership that you've got going on with someone, you have picked Leo as the energy that you are going to go out into the world in. And doing so, you're moving away from a situation that has caused you some great distress. I'm just going to see if I can kind of find out what that is, because I do feel like this reading is a bit vague and rambly, and this is exactly the reason why I stopped the last one. But here we are again, with the same energies coming through. Why is the Ten of Swords here for Pisces? What's Pisces moving away from? What's Pisces moving away from? Got the Three of Swords at the bottom of the bat and the Empress. Again. You've tried to do this before. Whatever it is that you're working on, whatever you're trying to bring forwards into the world. We've got the Empress and the Three of Swords underneath. Like, you tried to birth this before, you tried to bring this into the world before, and you were unsuccessful, right? And the card underneath these two here, it's the Father of Wands, it's the King of Wands, it's Leo again. I think in your time out, away from what it was that you were doing, you have really sat in a dream state and you've worked out why it was that you failed, why you failed the first time. And you've buckled up and you're like, right, I'm moving away from that. And I'm moving away from this. And I'm going to plug all the gaps in my plan that I had before using this energy. It's kind of cool. Like, I love it, obviously, because I'm a Leo, and I love to see Leo, you know, helping other signs, and Leos particularly just really love to be helpful. They love to be needed. So whether it's a person, and if it is, I think that's magnificent, because this person is absolutely helping you, like, they're coming out twice here. If it's not a person, and this is an energy that you're harnessing, this is very smart. I really like the way you're doing this. And to be holding it in such perfect balance with your own energy is quite masterful. I'm impressed. I'm going to pull maybe one or two more cards. I just want to see if there are any other messages, because I'm really nosy, actually. And I hope this makes sense to someone. I feel like it will make sense to someone. It makes no fucking sense to me, but it doesn't really matter if it makes any sense to me or not. I'm just here to give you the messages. So, now, have any other messages for Pisces this month, please? Ooh. Any other messages for Pisces? Any other messages for Pisces? I swear to God, what am I doing? Just flinging the cards around. Any other messages for Pisces, please? Right. We've got the Five of Wands, the Ace of Cups, and the Page of Cups. Now, I can barely believe I'm even fucking saying this as well, but the Five of Wands is the card of Leo, right? And then we've got the Eight of Cups and the Page of Cups, which are both water element cards, right? I feel like you're moving away from conflict, and this might be inner conflict. It's fighting here, and it might be with someone. But from what I've seen here already, I think this is you. And I think your your internal workings have included quite a bit of inner conflict. But you're balanced now. You've worked out what you're doing now, and you're moving away from this conflict, and you're moving towards the page. And the page is your energy. But it's new, exciting things going out into the world again, you know, because the pages are messengers. There's movement implied here as well. So you've got the Knight of Cups, the Queen of Cups, the Page of Cups. The only thing that's missing is the King, but you don't need the King because you're using the power of the Leo King this month and moving forwards. It's quite masterful. I'm really impressed. If this resonates with you at all, like, I'd be really grateful if you just like drop me a line and let me know what the fuck is going on. Because I'm kind of baffled, but I'm kind of loving it at the same time. And it would be really nice to know that there's somebody out there for whom this makes any sense at all. Yeah, apologies again for getting the video out late, but best of luck with your endeavour, Pisces, and I will see you in November.